So another year, another game's done quick, and interestingly enough, this time around we're talking about something that they didn't do rather than did do, and I'm quite happy about the fact that they didn't do this. That's not to say that Games Done Quick hasn't actively censored who can come onto their show and who can't. Games Done Quick is now very, very sensitive towards anything that could perceived as any kind of ism. If you're blamed for racism or homophobia or anything like that, chances are you will be excluded from the speedrunning community and you will not be allowed to get on. Last year, they famously were banning a lot of people from their Twitch stream over pronouns, and they were displaying the runner's pronouns with their cam. This year, there has been quite a lot of uproar from people that liked that about one speedrun being allowed to go through, even though the person said that they hate feminazism. If you look at their profile, you can see that they're identifying as demi-non-binary, which would mean that they likely are still on the left and part of that community. They're still a minority that would like to be included, but they don't like the super far left. They don't like militant feminism. And apparently somebody found that to be quite problematic. So this is a post from a person that has a lot of followers, but do remember that Games Done Quick was not just mentioned on this post. They were quite attacked by quite a community of people when they announced the speedrun and when they had the speedrun done, which was just yesterday. So let's read. I already wasn't gonna watch an 8-hour Final Fantasy speedrun, but if shitheads like this are running it, then I'm definitely not. Fucking yikes. How did this get past the GDQ crew? They're usually pretty strict about shit like this. Then they're talking about the run might have been taken off for unrelated reasons, but it wasn't because the person that filled out the run form filled it out wrong. Some people are defending the person, saying that he's a perfectly fine human being. Another person is sharing their experiences with other speedrunners, saying that they're all alike at that they're all white supremacists. Then this person comes back and goes, the original person that posted the post. To be honest, speedrunning is another one of those communities that seems to be either made up of entirely hardcore leftist queer people or Nazis with barely any in between. And I honestly believe that is just these people's ability to label other people. Like, if you're not with us, you're against this. So, like, you can see from the post from the Twitter profile of the person that they would have liked GDQ to have been banned from the roster, he was anti-feminazi. Well, they have now resorted to calling him Nazi and fascist in a lot of these comments, which is just like, you found one thing that you don't like about the person and you're immediately attacking him. A lot of people are saying, oh, a lot of the speedrunning community are part of MAGA and so on and so forth. And they're responding to people saying, yes, you have to submit to video game thought police if you want a speedrun, which is the right attitude to take. And these people go, right, because checking the people you invite to represent your charity event to ensure that there's someone you can trust won't be doing anything inappropriate or making people at the event uncomfortable is definitely thought policing. Having consequences ever is authoritarian. Well, no, judging people on their political beliefs and opinions when everybody is perfectly capable of not expressing political beliefs and opinions during a show is the authoritarian thing, because you are giving out a judgment before the person has even done anything. you're blocking them with the potential consequence that they might do or say something because you don't like how they think. That is the issue. Because, just so you know, everybody can carry a lot of opinions in themselves and just not express them publicly. Not because they're the wrong opinions to express, but mostly because there are a time and place for opinions. So when you're doing a speedrun, you're likely gonna be talking about, you know, the game and the speedrunning, and you're very likely not gonna be talking about what president candidate would you ideally vote for. That's just not a conversation that tends to come up in these events. Even in most cases, you have this unspoken rule around a lot of the internet, a lot of public events, a lot of public gatherings, even your job gathering, where a lot of people will say the things you are not gonna be talking about is politics and religion, because people tend to get very aggressive about these things. So it's better to just avoid these conversations entirely. These are in a lot of Discord rules. These are not the kind of things that you just share. So yes, a lot of people would not hijack a platform to share a political opinion. They're blaming him for unironically using the word feminazi, which honestly I would use too. Some people are just very militant feminists, and that term just fits them. Was genuinely excited for the Final Fantasy VIII Overnighter. Long RPG runs that go overnight are a huge GDQ draw for me. I won't add viewership for this kind of trash though, so I guess I'll just get some sleep. And obviously the run comes, the person isn't banned off it. GDQ announces it, Toji here prepares himself for an absolute marathon of a speedrun. Our next game, Final Fantasy VIII. RPG runs take stamina that most runs don't require, often with many hours of playing without getting up. The level of dedication is impressive. And they get a bunch of comments like, oh, is this the fascist supporting guy? Remove the fash. Can you get his sexist pal off the couch? 9 useless hours when you could have screened a lot of nice other runs. Really upset you let someone like this on stage at your event. Thought you guys were better than this. Interestingly enough, this person goes, it is also dangerous, but then talks about leg thrombosis, which is a lot better than saying that it's dangerous to let this person onto the stage because he doesn't like feminazis. So, thumbs up for that guy. So hype you didn't screen out an openly fascist, homophobic, transphobic, anti-feminist. Great job. Love seeing Final Fantasy VIII at GDQ, but incredibly disappointed in the choice of the third runner, a literal fascist. Why are you letting an openly homophobic person run at GDQ? Nice job finding a fascist Islamophobe to do this run. This is the one of the runners you got for this? Yikes. And yes, once again they post his profile that says, I hate feminazism. Have you seen how I hate feminazism has just evolved into homophobe, transphobe, Islamophobe, fascist, and at one point Nazi? Because that's what I'm talking about. They don't like a single part of you and they want to cancel you off everywhere, which I absolutely hate. In my opinion, yes, inclusion is good. You're supposed to let everyone participate, no matter their beliefs, no matter their sexual orientation, no matter their skin color, no matter their gender. But that's where it should stop. You're not there to police saying that, oh, if we let marginalized people go in, we should absolutely make sure that nobody from the opposite spectrum ever comes in contact with them. That's not your job. That is gatekeeping. That is gatekeeping of the speedrunning community, and that is absolutely disgusting. So props from GDQ for actually allowing this person on still, because they did do a lot of changes that make a lot of people quite excluded from all of this. It would be a lot better if instead of selecting for excluding people, you just stated what you can and cannot do with your platform. Just write down a list of banned conversations. Write down a list of banned words that people cannot use during your runs. If you're afraid that somebody's gonna make a political speech, say no politics. If you're afraid that somebody's gonna shill for religion or shill against religion, go no religious statements. And that is perfectly fine. Don't try to ban people before they could get a word out just because you believe that they might say something compromising. That's not a good thing to do. And you most definitely shouldn't just cater to one set of people by banning the whole different group out because they're afraid that the other group might say something contrary to them. That's not good. That is not good whatsoever. So that is my take on this. If you disagree, feel free to mention that in the comments. If you like my content, feel free to drop me a subscription. That would be nice. I like seeing that number go on. It's completely free on YouTube, and if YouTube decides by the algorithm you actually get to see my videos on your subscription feed, then yay! And I hope I can see you in my other videos.